there's just so many things that we've learned over the years to where some of it in the beginning was a lack of foresight on us because we weren't really thinking about the fact that literally every piece of dirt is going to be different to today where we know it. And I think we draw such a hard line that we don't. The reason for it isn't because we're wanting to be difficult to build with. What we're wanting to do is be the easiest build possible and deal with the difficult things on the front end. Um,
Well, I think too, one of the things I wish everybody knew coming in is if you got a really good deal on a piece of land, you should ask why.
yeah,
There's a reason it's a really good deal. There's a because they're not making any more of it, you know. So we'll have people that have a we had one not long ago that they got a really good deal on like 13, 15 acres. 90% of it was in a floodplain. They didn't know it.
yep,
The person selling it to them didn't tell them, and they've never bought land before, and they didn't know to ask.
yep,
And there's a lot of things like that, you know, even if you call us, we can tell you, hey, look out for these kind of things before you as you're looking for land.
yep.
That might save you some heartache, but
Well, it's a concept.
most people are new builders. They've never, I mean, they're new. They've never built a house
Yeah.
before. They don't know.
Well, it's a battle.
Yeah.
As a business owner, I can tell you right now, I said, hey man, we need to quit onboarding people that don't have land because it's clogging up the system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're talking with thousands of clients,
Mm-hmm.
and we're trying to give everybody, you know, the same experience. And then you got 30 or 40 people over here scattered across the huge area we build in that don't even have land that are somehow plugged into this system. And I'm like, we got to do away with that. And you were like, no, we're not, because of that. And when you explain that like, hey, when they get onboarded and they're looking for land and they go get it and they're in this due diligence period and they can utilize that site visit, we could have potentially saved them hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
right? By going out there and saying, hey, this is going to be required here. You know, like, I don't know if you knew this. And so they get to bring a little bit of expertise to the table during their due diligence phases and potentially save themselves from having to solve that land, right? That really good deal on land, which is, it's not a good deal when you realize what you have to do to make it buildable, or get access to it, or get it clear cut, or you know, and you mentioned permits. You know, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's say that a new client comes in, they're so excited, they moved here from out of the state, and they found them a beautiful piece of coastal property down in Charleston County, South Carolina. Right? They're in the little triangle. It's beautiful. And talk a little bit about that because people think it's crazy, and it is, but
Yeah.
there's a
Not our
reason to
fault. It's
it. It's
crazy.
nothing we can do
Yeah.
about it. But in Charleston County, and there's several counties like this, by the way, it's not just Charleston County, but this one specifically. Talk about the potential permitting storm that could be presented on that dirt and that we want to prepare you for on the front end when you're coming in and tell you about this because there's some things there that could potentially delay a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and every county is different, and we've ran into different challenges. But especially in the coastal counties, especially Charleston County, there's so much due diligence that goes into pulling a permit. Um, we have to have a tree survey. A lot of them have to have elevation surveys. Some of them we have to get a zoning permit from another smaller, municipality or something like that. And there's just so much that goes into it. I mean, there's animal conservation where, we've ran into some where there's like a sea turtle preservation and, there's Asian longhorn beetle quarantine pockets all over Ravenel and, different parts of the counties. And, so once we receive it, the process of navigating through all that, we've had a couple in Ravenel that had the beetle. I mean, we have to go through Clemson University. So we're not just filling out an application and sending it in with a set of plans and saying, hey, we're going to build this house. I mean, there's civil engineering involved. What is the base floor elevation? There's, 50-year floodplains, 100-year, there's X zones. There's all these different things. When someone's choosing a piece of property and where they're going to build, I mean, sometimes you're looking at six figures in charges just to meet base floor elevation, whether it's building on piers or crawl spaces. And, we have a product that's, we try to make affordable. Like we build on a 4-inch slab. That is our preferred foundation. But all these things fall on our permitting department, and it's a massive amount of work. The last one that we've dealt with in Charleston County, there were 162 documents that they required of us, multiple different surveys. We've had to source some of those out to, people that are professionals that know more about it than we do. And and it's just a different world. It's just a different animal. So when it comes to marshlands and floodplains and all these different things down there in that county, and then on top of that, outside of the site, just the site stuff, you have seismic, you have wind load. I mean, they want to know every nail that's going into that house because of wind and all these different things. So there is a massive amount of work, and I do think it's important to highlight that. I think that people are overstimulated during the process of like onboarding and designing their plans, and it's really exciting. And I think that they hit a brick wall sometimes once they go into finance. And I wish that the client could come tour our office and see how many back office people I have, not just in permitting and purchasing, working on that bill before we ever scrape dirt.